Morning, students. Today we are going to be reading through and comprehending the poem The Squirrel from your Honeycomb textbook. Now, there is some information given before the poem. Let's read through it before we begin. You may have seen a squirrel sitting on the ground eating a nut. What did it look like? Here is a poet's description of just such a squirrel. So it begins with asking us that we must have seen a squirrel sitting on the ground eating a nut. If you ever go outside your houses near a forest or near some trees, you're bound to see squirrels. Now, it asks us, what does a squirrel look like? Describe a squirrel. Now, try and bring to mind a squirrel as you're reading through this poem or as you're listening through this recording. And let's read through the description of a squirrel from the poet's point of view. He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. Now, he wore a question mark for tail means the squirrel's tail was curled or shaped like a question mark. Now you must have seen a question mark for sure. And that was the shape of the squirrel's tail. An overcoat of grey means the fur on the squirrel was tinged with grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. Now the poet is describing the squirrel sitting straight when he's eating a nut and comments that the squirrel liked to tease and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. And when the author tried to go around the tree of the squirrel went the opposite way, running away. Hence, I think that's why the author has commented in the fourth line that he liked to tease and play. So that was the whole poem. This is a poem by Mildred Bowers Armstrong. Very straightforward. Let's just review once the 6 lines we just read. It starts by describing the squirrel as to having a question mark for tail, wherein the author is trying to imply that the squirrel's tail is in the shape of a question mark and an overcoat of grey. Now, typically, an overcoat is like a jacket worn above the rest of your clothes. So, when the author says an overcoat of grey, she is trying to imply that the squirrel's fur is tinged with grey, like it has a layer of grey on top of it. Then the author goes on to describe the playfulness of the squirrel and how the squirrel goes about to eat his nut, sitting up straight and teasing and playing. And when the author attempted to run around the tree of the squirrel, or when when the author attempted to run around the tree of the squirrel went the other way. So I hope you understood that poem. Thank you.